But speaking of buying over time, Michael Saylor, founder and CEO of MicroStrategy, who continues to put Bitcoin on the map and be the trailblazer for more corporations holding cryptos, i.e. Bitcoin, on their balance sheet. On April 4th, Frank, he tweeted a Wall Street Journal article. Speaking of Twitter, we're talking about it. There was a Wall Street Journal article titled, "The World is Piling on Debt as it Battles Inflation." Pretty obvious. That's what governments do. World meaning. Michael says the surge in food and fuel prices is going to further weaken global currencies and encourage the imposition of capital controls, price controls, and export controls, favoring a strategy based on digital products, digital services, and digital assets. That was April 4th. April 5th, he tweets, MicroStrategy has purchased an additional 4,167 Bitcoins for $190.5 million. They bought these 4,167 Bitcoins at $45,714 average price. Frank, as of 4/4/22, April 4th, MicroStrategy holds 129,218 Bitcoins at an average cost of $30,700. Okay, so they're up at 45,000. That's what, 46%? Mm-hmm. I follow this quite a bit. I haven't checked this recently. With the volatility and such, I would have guessed their average cost basis would have been higher than the $30,700. I admit that.
A lot.
I would have. Yep. I don't know what. I mean, it's easy to say that when you read it. Maybe I would have gone to 35, ish, but percentage-wise, that's a hell of an increase. That's impressive.
What'd you say?
What's that?
How much was the increase? The percentage-wise?
Well, I just meant their average price is $30,700. If I would have guessed 35, that's a huge percentage increase, is my point. So they're still more than well profitable on all these holdings. Now, I'm not just saying, hey, they're in the clear. Obviously, prices are volatile like crazy. I'm simply pointing to the fact that I like this because I would have guessed that average price is higher. It shows somebody buying over time and how you have to have that mindset. They're raising debt to do it. I'm not going out on a limb and telling the individual to do that. I'm just pointing this out that money continues to flow into the space. That's a huge thing and catalyst on the corporate side. One quick note about, I know you've mentioned this, but in the Galaxy Digital Holdings conference call transcript, they highlighted that $33 billion in venture capital was invested in blockchain ideas and such over the last year. And that was more than all previous years combined. Case in point, takeaway, why do you give a fly in Florida about this? It's because you want to position yourself to make money off of trends taking place, not being hindrance by headwinds taking place. So just have exposure to all this. I know we're beating a dead horse here, but... No, but
Saylor believes, and by the way, the amount of money, $33 billion in venture capital coming into this industry, more than all the previous years combined. There's a reason why I was pushing that offer, which is over now. You can't get that offer for Crypto Intelligence. We only opened it up for, it was about a week, and it was half off, and then you got a year for free. And I want you in for 2 years because there's, just like I said in November, okay, if you follow me, even for the past couple of years, with COVID, selling a lot of our positions and being able to get back in a tiny bit late, but still we had great returns. We saw assets struggle tremendously, a lot more than I thought. But I said in November how there's a fundamental change in the marketplace. The Fed understands that the inflation's here. They're going to aggressively tighten, and it's much different than what we've been hearing, right? So that's a fundamental change in the market where people are like, oh, buy the dip. No. This isn't buy the dip anymore. Okay, this is more like sell the rips. And right now in crypto, there's a fundamental change. When you saw Biden come out, you're seeing more institutions. All of them said, okay, great. Even the SEC came out and said the exchanges should trade more like, securities. And some of those got hurt yesterday. To us, that's a great thing. That's why we have a security token. To me, I always thought that's where the industry needs to go. That's why Coinbase has its licenses. You have Binance has licenses to trade security tokens. Gemini does. They all do as the backup, just in case if the SEC does its job, because these really are securities. I'd hate to say it. Again, I'm a big believer in crypto, but a lot of these things, I want to invest in things that I know where this money's going. And you're talking about kids, right? Kids who understand technology but never ran a business before. They're getting in, they never had money in their lives, and all of a sudden they raise $10 million. You don't know where that $10 million is going. You have no idea where it's going. They just bought houses, they bought whatever, they'll put a little bit of money into it. They say that they have a plan to develop this project. It's, again, mostly you raise money after you develop something, right? They're doing it beforehand, and a lot of these projects haven't even... they're not even on schedule, and you don't know where this money is. You need that, but this is more like securities. But when you saw Biden come out, it means more money is going to pour into this. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, the metaverse is here. It's here. Okay. People are like, well, it's not here. What is the metaverse? Start learning about it. I'm going to teach you everything I can about the metaverse. Okay. That's going to be a very, very big theme in our crypto newsletter going forward, where hopefully I can get you into some pre-sales. We got some great contacts in this industry. I've talked to a lot of people just this week alone, but over the past couple of weeks. Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? That creator raised $450 million to build an NFT metaverse. Okay. So now that you're building this metaverse, you have all this real estate there, this land. And now NFTs, and it's not just artwork or whatever, it gives you special access, special privileges. I mean, some of the people I talk to just are blown away by their ideas of how amazing this is going to be. And it's not just like a video game and another planet and people. No, it's much, much more than that. So Nike Land is, Nike created Nike Land. You're looking at Walmart. All the major companies are in here. Every realm just raised $460 million last month to build their metaverse. Animoca Brands raised $360 million. Orbit, and that's with 2 O's, Orbit raised $4 million in funding for their platform, and the smaller platform Portals raised $5 million. We just put a metaverse company that really no one heard of through one of our interviews in our Dollar Stock Club, and that's up a lot already. So the money pouring into this sector right now is real. It's coming from venture capitalists. So these venture capitalists are not just investing money and saying, okay, give us cheap stock and let's get out of there with cheap tokens. They're going onto the board. They're teaching these people how to run a business while they have all the development skills and those people and those ties. And that's why you're seeing all this money come together with these platforms, getting ahead of Facebook. You're going to have access to all this stuff, but it's exciting times in crypto. If you're looking at Saylor, look at that gain, right? That 50% gain in crypto off of his cost basis. He's using crypto and he's using Bitcoin, right, Daniel, as a store of value, meaning it's better to hold than cash. So if he held cash, the value of that cash would be down tremendously. And yes, he's taking out debt, but this is why he's going all in. If this becomes a store of value where people really believe it and you see less volatility, where it's not all over the place, there's trillions of dollars on the balance sheets of these companies. And do they want to be in cash? Because they're buying back the stock. They'd rather buy back the stock than just leave it in cash right now because it's getting destroyed with inflation. So you're looking at over $1 trillion in buybacks this year that's about to happen, in the middle of these earnings starting to get nailed. So they're going to try to keep their earnings up. That money might be better spent, some of it, or maybe 5% of it, a small possession, going into Bitcoin. And you're seeing more and more management teams. You're seeing some of the smartest people, hedge funds in the world saying this. Crypto is here, guys. You have to get involved. I know it's difficult. There's a learning curve. You got to go on different exchanges. We explain that in our CCI newsletter. If that's too expensive for you, or there's so many different places that you can learn about crypto, start learning. Go to Coinbase, open an account, and just buy whatever, $100, $200 worth of something. Start learning about this, because all the innovations, all the fintech that's coming out, most of it's going through crypto. It's a reason why all these platforms, now Visa, MasterCard, have no choice but to offer credit cards and get into crypto, because they're getting crushed by the fintech companies who are offering this stuff, who are putting it on a site. Here's how you buy Bitcoin. Here's how you pay for Bitcoin. Use different things. And, just decentralized finance, which is DeFi, security tokens, which we're in, the metaverse, NFTs, all this stuff coming together. These are all $1 trillion trends on their own that are just going to continue to develop over time. And one last point here, Dan, to go on this, because you raised a lot of good points with Michael Saylor and everything. But when you're looking at Bitcoin itself, or you look at crypto, a lot of people are creating platforms where you could trade crypto. I don't want you to trade crypto. I don't want you to be in and out, in and out, in and out. I want you to be able to hold these things for 12 months, 18 months, 2 years or longer. That's how you make an absolute fortune. So with oil, uranium, gold, cyclical. A lot of those things are cyclical. They're all cyclical, right? So uranium has been beaten up tremendously. It's starting to come back. There's times to buy oil, there's times not to. Gold, cyclical. So these are names within these sectors you may not want to hold long term. You want to hold during that cycle. This is totally different with Bitcoin, because it gets compared to these as a commodity sometimes, as, oh, let me hold this instead of this. But when you look at gold, if you look at gold stocks, I mean, they're going to rise tremendously during those cyclical times that it's good. And then this is something where it's not cyclical. It's continued to growing because of innovation, where this is secular growing trends. It's much different. So I know there's crypto products out there. They're like, oh, let's trade back and forth. You're not going to become filthy rich by trading cryptos. They're all over the place. It's crazy and it's nuts. Most people don't make money trading. I only know 1% of people. I know 3 traders that I would trust out of thousands I've met over my career that I trust my money when it comes to trading. Maybe 3. Actually, maybe 2. But if you're looking at crypto, not so much trading, but buying and holding these things, especially within these growth trends, that's how you could turn a small amount of money into an absolute fortune, because the institutions are not in there yet. They're coming in. The framework is set. Now you're really going to see tons of money, 250 trillion on the sidelines. Not on the sidelines, but assets under management, 250 trillion. That has to find a home someplace. And now those people want access to crypto, and now they have it with the new framework. So everything's a positive for crypto right now. It's going to be volatile, but this is where the exciting times are. And you're seeing it right now in a market that's all over the place, and crypto's holding up pretty well right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's down a little bit right now, but overall, it's getting very difficult for the bears to continue their argument. Not that they won't continue their argument. It's just getting a lot more difficult to take them serious. But that's okay. That's what makes markets and gives us fun things to talk about.
Being bearish is okay. Like, you could say, well, I think crypto's going to come down, 15% from you, 20% here. And you might be right. Nobody knows the future. But to say Bitcoin's going to zero, it's worthless.
Right.
If you're saying that right now, you're an idiot. Because it's because you're just saying it to say it and get headlines, and you're not looking at technology. Smart people are willing to adapt. You've seen that within crypto. You've seen that within some of the largest hedge fund managers in the world saying, hey, I didn't understand this. Now I do. You have to understand. But if you really predict, Bitcoin's worthless and going to zero, seriously, you really don't understand what's going on here. You don't. I mean, it could go down 15, 20%. It could be volatile. I get it. Maybe they overregulate. You hate getting the government involved, but people need to know their money's safe. Again, it's not like I'm pro-regulation, but you need to make sure your money's safe. It's going to help scale this and everybody getting into it, make it a lot easier. It's got to be easier because it's still difficult to buy some of these tokens, especially if you're using decentralized exchanges, or you have to be very, very careful. You can lose your money and hacks and stuff like that. But this trend is here. It's not just like a short-term trend. This is a secular growing trend where the innovation is taking place. And look, I'm not bullshitting you, because my whole company I based on it. So this is what I saw years ago, and it's blown away my expectations, and even for security tokens and everything else. But I see this going further and further. You're going to see a lot of these platforms that offer, whether it's Coinbase, Gemini, Binance, whatever, Kraken, all these, they're going to start offering security tokens. That's where the market is going. You're seeing a lot of people raise money through security tokens, and that's going to provide more safety and more data. This way you're showing everything. You're getting equity stakes in these things. That's where this market is heading. That's where it's going, along with the innovation. It's really exciting times.